This is Emissary Marine. I'm just here today by a river, sitting here enjoying the sunshine and the nice weather. And yeah, I was just wanting to come online and say hello and to anyone watching here, whoever you are, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good day, a soothing day. I know there's a lot going on right now in the world that seems scary with the weather and significant things that are significantly changing the lives of others. These geese are being quite loud and ducks around me. So, I'm so blessed to be sitting here outside in the fresh air, to have a job in which I can do that, that it affords me that luxury to be outside whenever I want to be, to take time off whenever I need to. I don't get paid for that necessarily, but I don't get paid if I don't work. But I trust that God, in following my heart and trusting what God is asking me to do, that I will be protected, divinely guided to be taking time off when it's just right for me to be doing that. And I know that God will take care of me. He's a good father and a good mother, and He would not ask me to take time off if it weren't going to benefit everyone involved. So as long as I'm doing what's right, my intention is for whatever is highest and best and serves the greater good of all to be experienced and expressed by me on every level of my being, that I may be able to be a channel for God's peace, for God's love and serenity, a channel for the enlightenment of all, that we may all be on the same page with things, to understand one another and what our intentions are, what our purpose is for being together, to be more deliberate about being on this planet and with each other, but also to be more appreciative of one another too. In our gratitude and appreciation for everything, we're enabling ourselves to live a more full life, a more fulfilling life, and a more meaningful life. One that's full of gifts from God, and not because we're doing something, um, you know, right or something, but because it's not about right and wrong. It's because we're just trusting ourselves. We're employing the use of our natural talents and abilities. We're being true and authentic and integrous in our actions, in our words, in our thoughts. So we're thinking thoughts that are, promoting harmony and love between us, sharing from the heart, sharing nicely with each other, paying it forward to people who are in need in a joyful way without expecting anything in return for doing that, just because it feels good to give. And then sharing with people who are really joyfully experiencing the gift from you and receiving that. So it's so much fun to be giving to others when the others you're giving to are receiving it with joy. They're receiving you with joy. And so in the same manner that you're giving, they're receiving. And they're receiving not expecting to have to give anything back. That's giving and receiving unconditionally. And I love that. So I know that, there's a lot of times when people receive, they are afraid they're going to have to owe the person something in return, to pay them back for what they gave them. Then they linger on in their mind about, oh, I really need to give back to that person, or I really feel like I need to do something nice for them because of what they did for me. Well, if we could just let go of our attachment to the outcome of people's giving when they pay it forward to us, and just accept it in the moment, and then be in the moment after that throughout our day, our life, and not hold attachment to what happened in the past, even if it was something joyful, then we're not bringing that other person and what they did with us, and the guilt of not giving back with us into the future. We're just able to let go of them and let them be them and continue giving and open up the channels more for you to give back that way, because you're not trying to, like, you're not a container for guilt anymore, which keeps you in bondage of, like, shame about yourself. So if you let go of that feeling of guilt of not being able to give back something when they gave to you, you're just allowing a lot more light to flow through you to them. You're going to be able to extend love to them then, instead of trying to force it. Maybe they don't want anything back from you. Maybe they don't need anything back from you. And, you're just carrying around these thoughts for nothing, because it wouldn't be received by them with joy. They would turn you down if you went back and gave them something. So be open to all the possibilities of what might come from being happy with what happened the way it was when you received from them, even though you didn't have anything to give back. If you're a generous person and you like to do that, I know it's hard sometimes. So, but just if you can accept the way it was when you received that which was important to you to receive, and then, find a way to, through our acceptance, we're allowing them more joy. And then we're opening up to more good by being happy anyway. Choosing consciously to be happy anyway with what happened. To be happy with it means to be loving it. To be loving ourselves in it too. And to be loving everyone else also. So it just adds so much beauty and smoothness to it. It's very smooth and soothing to the soul. And it's very soothing to the mind also, because the mind can relax. Oh, it feels so good to relax the mind. And for it not to have to be in constant disarray about something that doesn't really need to happen anyway. And if you are to be giving something back to that person in exchange for what they gave you, eventually, the inspiration will come, or you'll be divinely guided in some way, or you'll just intuitively know, you'll get a hunch. I really want to go see that person and give something to them today, that would brighten their day or something. You never know what, God will put on your heart to do, but God can't do that. It can't work through us like that and do something like that if we're holding on to guilt about our receiving. So I just wanted to mention that today, as people are going to go through a time in their life where they're going to be blessed by others in abundance because of what's happening with these hurricanes and how they're destroying things, or other natural natural events that are occurring in the world, some wars that are occurring, some, family violence that's happening now as a result of all these things. That are happening beyond people's control. It's that feeling of being out of control. People don't like that. And it makes them really nervous. And it makes them want to be in control of something. And they pick, usually, they can see where it might be easy to, to be in control of some person or thing, like an animal. But they might not be very kind to it if they're not doing a good job of reducing their stress. So, if somebody is like that in your life, you may be needing to just remind them to take a time out and do a self-reflecting, and maybe help themselves, like by going for a walk in nature, where they can reconnect with nature and soothe their own soul first. And then they can come back to you and talk about whatever it is. So, there's people around me, like light beings around me now, that they're wanting to convey this wisdom to you, this message. It's really has a lot to do with the weather, the way it is, because people have, they have been on this planet for so long thinking they are guilty for not giving back when somebody gives to them. And they're carrying around so much hurt and pain for nothing. You know, it's like, oh, mom or dad, I have to give back to you for taking care of me when I was young. Well, no, you don't. Um, you know, like parents give to their children just because they love them. They don't expect them to give anything back. Maybe they do if they're old and like need their help or something. Here come the geese behind me. um, but anyway, so you know, I gave to these geese the other day. They were so fun to give to and share with. Hi, how are you guys today? It's nice to see you again. I did. And to be on video again with you? Yes. This time I know it's actually recording. I I recorded them on video the other day. They remembered that. So good to see you. It's a family of about 5 or 6, no, maybe 7, and they're just so adorable. And hi, would you like to come over and say hello? I did. I don't really have anything in my hand. Whoops. Oh, you're gonna go down the stairs? Good kids. They're just going down this embankment here. I don't know if you can see them. I guess I have the video camera the wrong way. I don't know. Anyway, but these are such beautiful animals and beings, and so joyful to spend time with. We had a really great time sharing some food the other day. And they used really good manners with me. They minded my personal space, the personal boundaries I had, and they were very patient and very good at sharing with each other. So it's nice to see them back again today. And good kids. I know. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that one, but there are ducks here too. Here's some ducks down here by the water. They have the pretty green heads. I don't know if you can see them. But there's everybody now in the water. So anyway, I hope I did a good job of sharing them in the water. That like the camera angle. Yeah, it was hard for me to get that right, maybe because I couldn't see it myself before. Now I figured out how to do that. So anyway, but I'm just really inspired to share this with you and to just let you know, it's okay if you can't give back to somebody when they give to you. That's the gist of my message. And you know, if they ask you, that they would, and they say they would love to receive something from you in return, and you know, always make sure you do your best when you are receiving from somebody to set you both up for the most success. I'm like being like a mom now and sharing this part, but like I think this has to do with people feeling they would feel a lot more at rest and at ease about not having a way to give back to somebody who gave to them if at first they were responsible and they asked, well, you know, or they made sure they told the person about their situation and maybe said, well, I won't have another way of being able to give to you, you know, to pay you back for this. So, what, you know, what are your expectations of me in your giving this to me? And sometimes, you know, if you're with a family member or a friend and they're giving to you, that's an important part of the process of being able to receive with joy, with unconditional joy, and unconditional love, because, and to have the ability to let go afterwards, because then you're clear, your mind is clear, your consciousness is clear afterwards, because you've done the initial part of setting you up for success by saying, this is my situation, I don't know if or when I'll be able to give you anything back to you to say thank you for this. All I can afford right now is just to say thank you with my words. I hope that's enough, and with my smile on my face, with my joy. Sometimes that's all people really want and need. They just are giving for the joy of it, for the joy that they get from giving, and the joy of seeing happiness on your face and in your being, knowing that they were able to touch the life of another in a meaningful way, that empowered them, that might make their health increase, and give them really good health that they would have not have had otherwise, or maybe they would have had to take medicine to become healthy. But in their giving to you in that way, they were making themselves healthier. And then also, because that released endorphins into their system that they needed to be released in order to balance their hormones, maybe their relationship thrived afterwards or something. You never know how their giving to you made their life better in some way, or their health, or their, and so then you also have to consider how it made your health better too, and everybody around you who was watching them do the giving. Because when people give unconditionally, without expecting anything in return, just for the joy of it, when others are a witness to that, they are able to gain so much benefit from that. They are able to, if they're open and receptive and they feel inspired by it, that source, that inspiration is allowing their source energy to flow through them, and it's allowing them to connect with their own inner being in a really majorly good way that says, I love life, I love loving, I love receiving and giving, I love life. That's what life is all about. It's about our giving and our receiving, and to do it in a fun, healthy way. So this is how to do that in a fun, healthy way when you're out in the world and you've been through a storm of one kind or another, or a fire that's come through your area. There's major big fires going on out in Wyoming now, I think. Forest fires, I don't know if that's affecting any houses of people, but if that is the case, and maybe there's something going on in your town that's causing you to become a person in need of things you wouldn't normally need. Maybe you're not used to receiving from people, you're always doing the giving, but now you're having to receive. This is bringing balance to the lives of those who were not allowing themselves to receive before. Now they're being brought into a place in their life where they're forced to receive from others, because now they're without a home, they're maybe without a job, maybe without a lot of their belongings that they had before that they need. Maybe they're out of food, out of water, out of electricity. They're not able to turn on lights or take a shower. They're not able to flush their toilets. They don't have running water. They are maybe not prepared for winter with winter clothing or blankets, because those got left behind for some reason, or are not in their possession anymore, and they can't get back to them. There's a lot of things people are going to be needing. Maybe just fuel for their car, or a hug, or a smile, a song, just singing someone a song would mean so much, or just holding them and humming a tune to them, for them, and rocking them like a baby. People need that right now so much. Whatever you have to give, know that it is enough. You are enough, and whatever you give is important. So those who are out there giving to those in need now, know that you're doing a very important job on this planet, because you're helping keep things in harmony with the universe. you're helping God balance things for the lives of those who are suffering. And you're touching them in a way that's giving them faith in humanity. You're giving them faith to keep going. You might not know, it, but this offering you're giving them, it could be the thing that saves their very life, the very essence of who they are too. Maybe they're struggling between the dark and the light within themselves, and your act of giving to them may just be the thing that saves them from turning to the dark side of the world. Maybe it keeps them out of a gang, or out of a hospital, or out of jail. So you don't know what you're doing when you touch their life by giving to them their life. So you're saving their life. You could be. You might be saving their families, or their children's, or many people's lives. It's such a big blessing to be able to be here today to share this message with you. I'm so thankful to be able to do that. But it's through the giving of others that this is possible for me. So, and through my unconditional receiving from others. I love to receive as well as give unconditionally and joyfully. So I know a lot about that, and how to do it, and how to do it wisely in a healthy, conscious, and co-creative way. So, you know, but I also understand the health benefits of both, and the way that they affect the world as a whole, and the lives of just those individuals. But it ripples out from there like a stone being thrown across the water. When it skips across the water like it does, that makes a ripple effect, and you can see it for years to come, maybe, and from generation to generation to come. Also, you just have no idea the impact you're making through your generosity, your kindness, your warmth towards people, your extension of your love to others, in gratitude to God for what you have to give, in gratitude to God for the joy that you have to give with, and in gratitude to God for being a vessel through which God is able to share what it needs to with these people who are now needing help. They're needing assistance. And so maybe some people are afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to give to someone who's not asking for help. If you see they're in need, do not be afraid to offer your assistance. And if you do that, God will bless you so much more than if you give to somebody that is asking for your help. Because in your giving out of compassion, not out of obligation, but which you may feel if somebody asks you for help. But if you give out of compassion for somebody, out of inspiration, out of a feeling of just a nagging feeling, you need to do that, to give to that person, but you don't know why. It's an intuitive hunch. Or maybe you're divinely guided by Jesus or God to give to somebody. Don't hold back. God blesses people like that give that way so much more than people who give out of obligation. Because out of obligation is coming from a place of not really wanting to. Or it's coming from a place of the ego. The ego is doing it then. So you're going to be holding on to attachment to the outcome of what they receive from your giving, what they're getting out of it, what they're doing with what they gave you, or something like that. There's going to be some attachment to it that doesn't make it easy or promote health or more happiness or harmony. So I want you to think about that too. It's okay to say no to somebody if they ask for your help. It's okay to say no and trust that God will send them the perfect person to help them. Because if you're giving out of a feeling of resentment about giving or obligation, that's not healthy for you, because it's not your responsibility to give to that person, but they're asking for help, then that's not the joyful giving that God wants us to do. And so I just thank you for taking time to listen to this video. I hope this made sense for you, and was of value to you. If it was, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to see more videos from me in the future, and or tell your friends about my channel. Maybe you could leave a comment below and let me know how this may have changed your life in some way for the better or affected you in a good way. I love to receive feedback from people, especially when it's given in a healthy way. So, that I can receive from you a joyful way. And, so this reminds me actually that, when we're giving to people, we don't just give things, but the real important things that we give are the gifts of the heart, our words. How we say things to people makes such a big difference, and it makes things so much healthier when we consider that before we speak to people. How we say what we say means everything in that relationship. And it also, if we're saying something, it's the same scenario, but just a different level of their being. We're giving to them as we speak to them. We're giving them, it's like serving them food. So what kind of food do you want to serve to people today? Through your words and your emotions, through your mental aspect of yourself too. Are you wanting to be honest with them in your sharing? Are you giving them truth? Are you giving them trust? Are you giving them, what message are you sending them when you give to them through your words? What message is your word conveying to them about themselves and about their life and about others? What are your intentions as you're giving to them? What do you desire for yourself to receive from others through words, through emotions, the emotional aspect of you? How do you want to feel when you communicate with others? That too has a ripple effect, and it's like a stone being thrown across the water, skipping across the water, because that's our karma. That's how we create good karma with people. When we give with healthy words that we choose from a place of happiness within ourselves. If we're not feeling happy, we probably shouldn't be serving people any of our food then. Our words or our emotions. Unless we're being very mindful and we've already set our intention to deliberately set our dominant intention to use our truth and authenticity to create more truth and authenticity in ourselves and in others. So I give thanks to God that we're serving each other by sharing about this and talking about it and communicating with each other from the heart, from the happy heart. So keep that in mind today too, as you meet people out in the world who are suffering, who are in need, and who are lacking the stability that they used to have. Have compassion.